Hello, ladies. How are you? I am here tonight joined by Vanessa Smith. She is a CPA, NLP practitioner, and money expert. And the thing I love, oh, right, Vanessa got married. So her last name now is Bowen. There you go. So, and I see it right in front of me. You'll see that too. And so I love bringing Vanessa on because so much of what Vanessa does is talking about this taboo topic of money. And I think it's so important for us as women to continue talking about money for multiple different reasons. It'll help us to build our business. It'll help us to build our education of what to do with our money so that our money can grow. And then it also will help us break through money limiting beliefs, which Vanessa is so good at, and I know she's going to talk about tonight. And so Vanessa's going to come in tonight. She'll introduce herself, but she's going to talk a lot about how to help us change our money mindset so that we can bring more abundance in our life. So I'll leave it over to you, Vanessa, to do your thing. And yeah, can't wait.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Vanessa. I'm excited for tonight. This is going to be very interactive, and it's going to be all about putting things into action. So before we get started, if you don't have a notebook and a pen, please get that, because we are going to go through a whole session of discovering your money story. And as we go through this, we're going to spend a bit of time discovering some of your money blocks. So I want you to be well equipped when your blocks start to pop up so you can start writing things down. And then at the end, I'm going to show you 3 quick steps to overcome your blocks. So I want to make sure you've got your notepad, your notebook, your journal, whatever it is, so you can take all the notes and then have homework when we're done, which is always fun. All right, so let's jump into it. I'll do a little bit of my intro as we go through, but I'm just gonna, oops, hold on. There we go. Okay, let's do it. So definitely speak to me in the chat so I'm not here talking to myself, but I want to know, do you desire wealth? Is that something that's on your list of things to do in life? Please let me know in the chat if that's a yes or if that's a no, but let me know if you desire wealth. Hell yeah. I love it. I love it. Yes, we all desire it. This is why we are pursuing money and abundance. Amazing. So here's the thing. Although you may say you desire wealth, you may sometimes feel that it's impossible, that maybe it's reserved for certain people, or maybe when you look at your financial life, you feel like you have these dreams, these passions, but your finances, your money isn't really getting you there, or it's holding you back. Or maybe you just don't know how to get a handle on your finances and you take 1 step forward and 5 steps back. Or maybe your money life is great, but you still have all this fear and anxiety around your financial life. So here's what I want you to understand. We have both a conscious and an unconscious relationship with money. So when we say, yes, I desire wealth, I desire more money, that's our conscious mind talking. But if deep down we feel inadequate, we feel like we're not smart enough, we're not good enough, someone from your background, your upbringing would never have the wealth that you desire, that's your unconscious or subconscious mind talking. And so we live in this limbo state between our conscious relationship with money and our unconscious relationship with money. And it's the unconscious side of the equation that actually dictates your habits, behaviors, and decisions around money. So no matter how much you say you're about wealth, if subconsciously you don't think you're deserving of it, you'll never actually get there. And so this unconscious part of our relationship, what I call the foundation of this is our money blocks, because it's our money blocks that are creating those actions and habits. And so if you've never heard this concept, this is just my general definition of a block. But a block is a limiting subconscious thought and belief which creates your money habits, actions, and decisions. So the actions, habits, and decisions that do not align with the vision for your life. So if you say on one hand, yes, you want wealth, and let's say part of that equation is getting out of debt, and you have this dream of being debt-free, but then you constantly find yourself going shopping, spending money when you shouldn't, it's your money blocks that are causing that behavior, because that behavior does not align with the financial life that you desire. So if you can uncover your blocks, and if you can shift your blocks, you can take actions that actually align with the vision for your life. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to get into some of your blocks and how to shift your mindset and make you basically move out of your blocks and actually take actions to go towards where your financial life wants to go. So here's the thing. When you constantly operate out of your blocks, you're playing small. And when you play small, you rob yourself and the world of seeing the light that you are capable of. And I truly believe we're all here for different reasons. We all have different gifts. And when we don't allow our gifts to shine, when we hide, when we allow our limiting beliefs to hold us back, we're not actually fulfilling our purposes. And no matter what we chase in life, we'll never feel fulfilled unless we go after the desires of our heart. And so to do that, we have to make sure we do not operate out of our blocks. So let me tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm so passionate about this whole money mindset world and our financial lives. So I did start my career as a chartered professional accountant. I am still an accountant, but I don't do any accounting work anymore. So no taxes, none of that anymore. But that's how I started my career. And when I started my career, I actually made very silly decisions when it came to my money. I moved into a condo I could barely afford. I was just spending over my means. And so my money journey started pretty much like everyone else's. And it wasn't until about a year and a half into my career that I realized this isn't what I wanted. And I wanted to actually live financially fulfilled. So that led into this whole passion of understanding personal finances. I got a mentor, learned how to build wealth, and then everything shifted from there. And I got to this point where I had saved over 6 figures. I had bought my first investment property, and I thought that that was it. I figured when I get to that point, I'm going to be set. I'm going to feel so confident around money. I'm going to feel just at peace. And I actually didn't. And it really bothered me because I thought once I get to that level, I'll be okay. It's like what we always think, especially when we're in a career or in our business. When we hit that income level, then everything will be fine. And it's never the case. And so this started a whole journey of understanding our mindset and how our minds are wired, which led into me actually wanting to become a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, because I was really fascinated with how our minds create our actions and our habits and our emotional feelings. So what I do right now, I'm basically a money and abundance coach for women. So I help women uncover their money blocks, which we're going to do today. And then on the financial side, I show them various strategies to better manage their money, to build wealth, to create the financial life that they desire. So my money story pretty much led me into what I do right now. This is definitely not something that I thought I'd be doing, but you never know where your life will lead. So I want to know, what's your money story? And don't worry, we're going to figure it out together. So we're going to go through a little bit of a journey to discover your story. And I'm going to go through 3 different areas for you to start to unravel parts of your story. Now, your story will always change. It will always evolve as your life evolves, but you can always follow this roadmap to chart out what your story looks like. But before I get there, I want to basically drill home the importance of money and finances for women, because sometimes as women we think, well, this isn't really important, or we'll let our partner take care of it. And yes, that's great, but the facts are the facts. And one of the biggest facts is that 85% of women will be solely responsible for their finances at some point in their lives, either because of divorce or because we outlive men. Which of course that part is great. But regardless of that, at some point, 85% of us will have to take charge of our financial life. So if we don't get it together now, we can't wait until we're 80 and then figure it out then. So this is why it's so important that women rise up, that we take charge, and that we understand how to manage our finances, how to change our relationship with money, and how to build the financial life that we desire. And the other crazy statistic I found was that 61% of women would rather talk about their own death than money, which for me, it's crazy. But if you really think about it, like how many times do we meet up with our girlfriends and ask them, okay, well, where are you saving? Where are you investing? Do you have debt? How are you getting out of debt? How are you managing your money? We don't actually sit and go out for dinner and have these conversations. And if we as women are going to be the ones creating our future, We have to be the ones that take care of our financial lives. So I really wanted to drill that home before we get into really discovering your blocks, because at the end of the day, it's going to come on us ladies. All right, so let's get into this. So remember, we're charting out your money story, and we're going to start with step 1, which is identifying your money blocks. Remember what money blocks are. They're the limiting beliefs that create your thoughts, that create your feelings, actions, and habits around money. Before we get into discovering your blocks, I want you to understand how our blocks are formed. Because the truth is that we all have money blocks. No one of us is just born without blocks. Unfortunately, we all have them. And as our life progresses, either new ones will be attached to us, or old ones that are really, really deep will start to come to the surface. So you're always going to be fighting against your blocks, no matter what, no matter where you're at in life. So here's how your blocks are formed for the most part, okay? So when you think about it, when you were first born, someone tell me in the chat, when you were first born, what were your thoughts, perceptions about money? Did you have any? Let me know what you think in the chat. Did anyone have any thoughts? Okay, I don't see anything popping up, but I'll keep going. So when you were a newborn, oh, it's coming. Thank you. It was just a little slow on the side. Yes, you didn't have any, right? One was hard to make. Yes, absolutely, Vanessa. Money was in abundance. So true. Yeah. And when we were first born, though, when we were newborns, we had no perceptions, judgments around money. But as we started to get older, especially between those ages of 0 to 8 years old, during that time, our brain hadn't fully developed. So it was actually still in its subconscious states. It was moving through the subconscious states. And then when we got to age 8 and older, our brains shifted into a conscious state. But between those ages, we were just taking in everything. So what we saw our parents do with money, how they talked about money, whether there was excitement around money or maybe fights around money, even the words that we heard them say, like we can't afford this or we don't have enough. All of that was getting downloaded into our subconscious, and we were taking that as an interpretation of what money is and what money does. So a lot of our deep-rooted blocks definitely are in our subconscious from the ages of 0 to 8. But then as we got older, as we became adults, we then created our own habits. So even if it was mistakes that we made that we internalized, or relationships that we got in that shifted our financial life or shifted our habits, all of those things that happen through our adult life, even feelings of inadequacy, that is also a block that we'll talk about. All of that then gets pushed into our subconscious and creates a whole pile of blocks that we're living with. So we all have them. And here's how the blocks create your actions and habits. So this here is actually the cognitive cycle. And this is how we operate our lives as humans, okay? So not just about money, with everything we do. So it says our thoughts create our feelings, which create our action. So in the very basic sense, if you have thoughts that it's hard to make money, that you always have to struggle with money, that money's difficult to have or keep, if you have those thoughts, how are you going to feel? Probably not very empowered, probably feeling like you're not optimistic, life is not going to go your way. And then how are you going to act? You're likely not going to show up to a webinar like this. You'll likely make the same actions, the same habits. You won't ask for help. And you'll end up going into this cycle and this loop and stay in the same place. So if you can shift your thoughts to more empowered thoughts, you'll shift your feelings and then you'll shift your actions. And the thoughts are where your money blocks lie. So if you can shift your money blocks, that is how you shift your actions and your habits when it comes to money. So let's start to discover some of your blocks, okay? We're gonna go on a little bit of a journey and discover parts of your blocks. Now, you'll likely have more blocks that you can discover after the webinar, but we're gonna look at a few areas for you to at least start to figure out some of your blocks. So the first area I want to look at is obviously our childhood blocks. because those are the deepest ones. So I'm just going to give you like 30 seconds to just think about and jot down in your notebook, what were some of your first experiences with money? So either things that you saw from your parents or heard, what were some of your first experiences? And I'll just share a few from my clients that it's so funny. The last week I've been hearing the same block come up. So I'm just going to share this in case it resonates with anyone. But I had a client who, I'll tell you a little bit of her life journey, but her mom didn't start working until she was 12, and her dad took care of everything. And then her mom and dad divorced, and her mom obviously took over and tried to deal with the finances, but they obviously went downhill. Then her mom remarried, and my client, she remembers specifically that when her mom remarried, she said to my client, now that there's a man in the house, don't worry, we'll be okay. Then that relationship didn't last very well, and then she divorced again. And after that, again, the family finances went down, and my client, she's still actually living at home with her mom, and she even noticed that at that time, her own financial life went down. And she's realized, like, she's in a relationship now, but she even has her sister repeating the same things that her mom said. So her sister's telling her, oh, wait till he proposes, then you can worry about the house. You can't get the house on your own. Like, you have to have him for support. And so she's been programmed her whole life to believe that she needs a partner to have financial abundance. So these are things that obviously our parents probably didn't mean to do. I'm not saying that our parents did this out of spite. They were just working out of their own programming that was downloaded to them and then translated and transferred into us. So when you're discovering your childhood blocks, never ever place blame on your parents. Just realize that this awareness allows you to shift the mindset that's then being transferred to your children and then to your future generations. Okay, so hopefully you've written down some of your blocks. I'm going to keep going. Now we're going to look at scarcity money blocks, okay? This is a very easy way to distinguish if you're operating out of a mindset of scarcity or a mindset of abundance. Any mindsets tagged in scarcity, lack, feeling like a victim, those are all money blocks. So I'm going to let you take a little short abundance test. So you can see on the screen, you've got two different columns. One side scarcity, one side's abundance. So I want you to quickly read each of the statements and just note which one you most resonate with right now. Not who you want to be, but what do you resonate with now? So for instance, the first one says, the mindset of scarcity will say, I'm worried I'll run out of money. Or the abundance mindset would say, I constantly have all the money I need, regardless of what's in my bank account. So which one do you most resonate with? So I'll just give you a few minutes to just quickly do this test. Anything under the scarcity column that you resonate with, that's going to be a block that you want to work through. And then as you go through, you could just throw in, if there's any scarcity ones that you do resonate with, just let me know in the chat. Because trust me, we all have a little bit of scarcity in us. Don't worry, it's not just you. So let me know in the chat if you relate to any of the scarcity ones, and it'll give us maybe about a minute before we keep going. So I think it's Nespot. I'm not sure if that's, yes, okay, I see now. So Nespot says, so many, of course, particularly number one, yes. You know what's funny? That is actually the biggest scarcity mindset block of pretty much 99% of people. It's always this fear of they'll run out of money, they'll never have enough money, or if they have money, it's the fear that they're going to lose it. That either their business is going to fail tomorrow or they're going to make an investment choice and lose it all. So trust me, that's actually a big one for pretty much everyone. In some way, shape, or form, it's tagged around losing money or not having enough money. Joanne says, I would like to invest in myself, but it costs a lot of money. Yes, that's also a huge one for a lot of people as well. And I always say you have to think of investing in yourself. You think of it just like investing in the market. Like if you knew that if you put in $10,000 in the market, that you would get $200,000, it would be a no-brainer. You would invest that 10,000 in a heartbeat. The same mindset you have to apply to when you look at yourself. If you invest in yourself, whatever that cost is, you have to believe that whatever training, coaching, whatever you're investing in, you have to believe that you will get the return for yourself. Why we don't invest in ourselves sometimes is because of lack of belief in ourselves. Because if you knew that you could do whatever's in that program and you could, get 10 times the money that you invested, we do it without a blink. But sometimes we have blocks where we feel that we can't do it or it's impossible. And when you put those blocks on, it just takes everything away from the power of investing in yourself. I read another one. I keep having to remind myself of the ROI. And yes, exactly. You got it, Joanne. That's exactly it. Remind yourself of the ROI and what I'll learn and gain from the experience. Absolutely. Absolutely. Amazing, ladies. So definitely take down these scarcity blocks, because when we get to the end, I'm going to show you how to work through them. All right. So let's keep going. So another area where we have blocks is actually the blocks that we put on ourselves, because women all the time, we limit ourselves. And I know that because I've limited myself. But we sometimes get so caught up. We tell ourselves we're not good enough. We're not pretty enough. If only we had this, if only we could do that. And we put all the limitations on ourselves, especially that line of I'm not enough. And whatever comes after that, I'm not smart enough. I'm not loud enough. I'm not confident enough. All of that, those senses of inadequacies, are actual blocks that we're putting on ourselves. Because if we saw ourselves in a different light, we would take different opportunities, potentially opportunities that will lead us to more money, that will lead us to more abundance. So when we operate out of this limited belief of who we are, we hold ourselves back from the money and the financial life that we actually desire. So if you do have any of those blocks, definitely write them down. Any feelings of I'm not enough, inadequacy, whatever that is, write those down as well, and we're going to work through them. Another area where we actually have blocks is from other people. And especially in this day and age where we're constantly comparing ourselves to any and everyone, we're constantly looking at everyone else's life over social media. And what can happen sometimes is that we allow people's perceptions and opinions to dictate our financial life. So if you're the type of person that has to make sure you look completely good on Instagram and everyone sees your beautiful highlight reels, but doing that is costing you a lot of money, money that you don't have, putting you into debt, taking away time from your family, your loved ones, then you're allowing other people to dictate your financial life. And the truth of the matter is, especially if you're spending a lot of money to put up appearances for other people, when you're in debt, they're not going to be the ones that come knocking on your door and say, here's a check to pay off your debt. So we have to make sure that we're making our financial decisions for us, that we're spending our money for us, not to appease or put up appearances for other people. And so if you do struggle with that, I have a quote that will hopefully break through all of that. So I love this quote and I always love to share it. It says, I used to care what people thought about me until I tried to pay my bills with their opinions. And how true is that? Like, their opinions don't matter. They don't pay the bills and they never will. So we have to start living for ourselves. Living in our worth means living for ourselves. Okay, so what are your money blocks? I'm going to give you about a minute to just jot down anything that's come to you so far. What's blocking you from the financial life that you desire? What's blocking you from taking your career to the next level? For maybe even taking your business to the next level, for starting that business? What is stopping you from the money and the abundance that you desire? I'm just going to read off a few of these blocks in case they resonate with you, but I just want to give you a minute to just jot down whatever's coming to you. So I'll read out a few, especially if there's any entrepreneurs on here. One big one for entrepreneurs is that we sometimes charge what we think people can afford as opposed to charging our worth. And so we can't really say if our business isn't doing well and we're not charging our worth, we can't really say our business is failing. It could be because we're not actually putting ourselves out enough to charge the prices that we deserve. And so if you're not doing that, you're holding yourself back from the money and abundance that is yours. Maybe you even have icky feelings towards wealthy or rich people. Maybe you feel that being wealthy means you have to be greedy or selfish or egotistical. Maybe you believe you have to work hard to make money. We talked about this a little earlier. Vanessa mentioned this. Or some people have even negative beliefs towards debt. So maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, I have so much debt. It's bad. I feel guilt. I feel shame. Always know this, when it comes to debt, regardless of how much you have, when you project the negative energy, the guilt, the shame towards your debt, it is not helping you to pay it off. That's just you projecting more negative energy and potentially just attracting more debt to you. So you always want to express gratitude towards your debt. And I know that might seem strange, but especially if the debt has gotten you to where you are right now, whether it's because you invested in your business, or maybe it's like student loans that got you your, whatever your degree was, which then got you your career. Especially if the debt has been an investment in yourself, you can't celebrate where you're at in life and not celebrate the means or how you got there. So to really shift your mindset around debt, you have to actually express appreciation and gratitude for what it has done. Not to say you thank it and then go shop the next day, but it at least shifts your mindset so that you can actually start to open yourself energetically to find new solutions to pay it off. All right, ladies, so I hope you've kind of discovered some of your blocks. Let's keep going. So here's a quick fact. If you can make yourself believe the thoughts that are ruining your financial life, you can make yourself unbelieve them too. It's possible. So just quickly share this with one of my clients, Andrea. Basically what happened with her when she discovered her blocks and shifted her mindset, she started to manifest opportunities like you wouldn't believe. And so when we're talking about discovering our blocks, there's so much tagged to it. There's a lot of negative energy tagged to it. When you can release your blocks, you actually open yourself up to receiving more, to actually giving out abundance for you to receive abundance. So don't think this is just about, oh, I'm going to shift my mindset. You're actually shifting energetically and allowing yourself to attract even more. So let's move on to number 2, which is discovering your money personality type. So remember, we're charting out your story. We started with your blocks. Your blocks are the limiting beliefs which create your actions, habits, and decisions. Repeated actions and habits create your personality traits, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna quickly read off 4 archetypes, and you're gonna discover which one you most resonate with. You may have traits from all of them, which is totally fine, but you're gonna figure out which is your most dominant, okay? So the first one is the diva. So I'm a recovering diva, I will admit, okay? Don't judge. So the diva lives for today. She's consumed with her current lifestyle. So the diva is all about maintaining appearances. She's all about worrying about other people's perceptions. So she'll find herself spending a lot of money that she potentially doesn't have. And so she's the one where you look at her Instagram profile and you think she's making a lot of money, but she's actually got herself in quite a lot of debt. And I can attest to that. A lot of my clients, if you look at their social media, you will have a different perception of what their financial reality looks like. So the diva is really about keeping that outward appearance. Next, you have the worrywart. So the worrywart lives in a constant state of lack of scarcity. So the worrywart always feels like they never have enough, or they just have enough to get by. And sometimes they kind of play these crazy what if scenarios. Like they'll be the ones that sometimes go out far and say, what if all the banks close tomorrow? The worrywart goes to the extreme, which means she constantly lives in anxiety and fear around her financial life, which is obviously not healthy for her health, her relationships, and anything that she wants to attract into her life. Next is the hoarder. So the hoarder believes it's all about how much money you have. So they love seeing lots of money in their bank account. And you may think that's great, which it is. But where the hoarder has a bit of a mindset trap is that the hoarder most of the time is not actually managing or investing their money correctly. They're not making their money work for them. So they'll have all the money in their bank account, but they won't be investing it wisely. They won't be putting it into vehicles that are actually growing. And if the hoarder has a lot of money and some debt, they will not take their investments or savings and pay off their debt because they don't want to see their balance go down, even though the debt is costing them more. And this is very true for a lot of people, especially I've seen lately quite a few women are hoarders because the money or having that money gives them this, I guess, financial security, but it is a false sense of security because you're not actually building wealth for your longer term. And the last one is the dodger. So the dodger basically dodges their whole entire financial life. They don't know how much money they have in their bank account. They don't like looking at their finances. It actually can, for some dodgers, cause almost like a panic attack for them to even look at their statements. So the dodger really just allows their financial life to flow, but they don't actually have a handle on it. And sometimes dodgers, if they're in relationships, they may leave the finances to their partner. And I will say this, we have to, if we are doing that, we have to also kind of think of our partner, because maybe he or she doesn't actually want to take care of the finances, or maybe they have no idea what they're doing either, and they want us to be by their side and help us. So if you are dodging and you're leaving everything to your partner, just kind of shift your mindset a bit and see what it would be like to be on your partner's side and maybe just help them a bit. Okay, so which personality type are you? Let me know in the chat which personality type you most relate to. You may have tendencies from both or from all of them, actually. So let me know which ones you are. Nastbot says worry word. Yes. Joanne, worry word as well. And I'm going to say this, ladies, the purpose of this, of discovering your personality type, it's not about discovering it and then going into this spiral of why am I like this? I shouldn't be like this. The purpose of this is for awareness, because when you can easily identify your persona when it comes to money, next time, especially let's say you're a worry word, next time you feel yourself feeling those feelings of, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have enough money, you can catch yourself. So it's all about awareness. And it's not that one personality type is better than the other. It's all about awareness so that we can shift our behaviors. So we actually quickly just went through that. If you actually want to find out your true type, I do have a free quiz that you can take on my website. It's mintworthy.co/quiz. And you take the quiz and it'll actually determine for you which personality type you are. So definitely take the quiz if you want to find out who you truly are. And I'll quickly share this for my client, Ksenia. And like I said, the purpose of this is awareness. So when we did a lot of work on her blocks and figuring out her personality type, she was a diva, straight diva. And what she says here is after we did the work, she said, I used to be a huge shopaholic throughout my whole life, and the desire to shop is literally not there anymore. This one still shocks me every day. And this is like the point of what I was saying. It's about awareness. Once you can understand your personality type and get more connected to your habits, you can shift them. And we think it's hard, or we think it's going to take us a while, but awareness is so key in shifting and reprogramming your subconscious. Okay, part 3, your relationship with money. So let's recap. We started with your blocks. Your blocks create your habits, actions, and decisions. Repeated actions, habits, and decisions create your personality traits. And your personality traits all combine together to create your overall relationship with money. Now, I won't go into this in detail, but I definitely want you to take these 2 questions away. So you want to assess your relationship with money, and you want to assess it just like a relationship with anyone else. Because if you really think about it, if you had a best friend and you talk negatively to her, you always talk down to her, you never had anything nice to say, and you hardly spent any time with her, would you really expect that friend to be there for you, to support you when you need them the most? Probably not, right? She's probably not going to be there. The same is true for money, because money is just energy. So you want to look at, how do you talk to or about money? Do you thank it every time it comes into your bank account or every time you make a purchase? Are you grateful that you have the money to make that purchase? Or do you constantly say, why are you never there, money? I never have enough of you. You never show up. You just come in and then you leave. How are you talking to your money? And then also, how much quality time do you spend with your money? Do you check your bank accounts? Do you review your financial plans? Do you have a budget that you review and stick to? Or do you just not even look at where you're at financially? So if you want to shift your financial life, you have to shift your relationship with money. So we're going to do a quick relationship test, okay? So let me know in the chat, which relationship status are you and money? So are you and money happily married? Are you connected soulmates? Are you strangers sleeping in the same bed? Or do you have a secret love affair where you only see your money when it's safe? So only when your bank balances are good, do you actually look at your money? Or are you just in a it's complicated relationship and you and money are all over the place and you're constantly arguing? So let me know in the chat, what is your relationship status with money? It's complicated, yep. I love it. And as Ortali says, happily married. Ooh, I love it. Maybe sleeping in the same bed, but at the same time, it's complicated. Love it, Joanne. And again, this is all about awareness. So all this is for us to know how are we treating money so that we can shift. Okay, so we've charted out your story. What I want you to realize in all of this is that it all starts with your money blocks. Your money blocks create the personality traits which create your relationship. So if you want a different financial life, if you want to attract money in abundance, if you want to feel financially secure, you want to feel at peace, you have to shift your blocks. If you can shift your blocks, you change the whole trajectory of your money story, and you can create a new story right where you are today. So what I want to show you is how to uncover your blocks. But I hope so far this is super clear that there's actually more to money than numbers. We're sometimes so stuck on wanting to know how to invest, how to grow money, how to save, how to get out of debt. And that's great. That's the second side of the equation. But you first need to realize that we've got a whole slew of internal problems and relationship issues that we have to deal with about money first. Because even if you learn how to save and invest and whatever it is that you want to do, build wealth, if you still have the same limiting beliefs about yourself, about your future, and about money, you'll end up right back where you are. So there's more to money than just the numbers. Okay, so how do we overcome our blocks? I'm going to show you 3 quick steps. And these are literally practical steps because I want you to be able to work on this today and tomorrow be able to implement this, okay? So there's different ways that you can reprogram your subconscious, but this is an easy way because your subconscious, one way to reprogram, the subconscious accepts new things through faith and repetition. So faith or belief, so you have to believe what it is that you want for your life. You have to believe in what it is that you desire. And then secondly, repetition. So the more you can talk to your subconscious, the more repeatedly, the more you can reprogram old thoughts and create new thoughts, okay? So that's the programming we're using for these 3 steps: faith, belief, and repetition. Okay, so we're gonna do this together. So I actually want you to pick one of your blocks. So step 1, identify your money blocks. We've just identified quite a few over our time together. I just want you to select one for now, and I'm gonna walk you through how to overcome the block. So just pick one that you wanna work on and write that down on maybe a separate page, okay? So select your block. And now step 2, you're going to investigate and question your block, okay? So let's break this down. When you investigate your block, you want to figure out, where did this come from? So remember when I talked about how our blocks are created, and part of it is through childhood or things that we've done. Sometimes we're actually walking around with false truths from other people or false truths that we've internalized. So you want to investigate, where is this block coming from? So what did you see, hear, or experience that created this block? So go ahead right now for the block that you selected. I want you to investigate it. Figure out, where did it come from? And I'll give you like 30 seconds. And remember, when you do this, there's no judgment. So whatever comes up, never project any judgment towards the experience, towards the person. It's not about that. It's all about awareness. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. All right, so hopefully you've investigated it. Where did it come from? The next part is to question your block. So here's where you're questioning the truth. Is it really true, or is it a false truth that I have internalized? So I'm going to walk through this example to help you see what I mean by question, okay? So let's say one of your beliefs or blocks is that money can't buy happiness. So you want to ask yourself, well, what makes me happy? So maybe that's travel, maybe that's going out to dinner with your friends, maybe that's spending time with family, maybe it's cupcakes and ice cream, hiking, whatever it is. What makes me happy? And then you would ask yourself, do I need money to obtain these things? And of course the answer is yes. You need money for everything in this day and age. So you need money for the things that bring you happiness. So that block about money can't buy happiness isn't fully true. So I'm going to stop here before I keep going, but I want to give you about a minute to question your block. So question if it's true. One easy way to question it is just to ask yourself, have I seen or experienced something in my life which is the opposite of this block? So I'll give you an example. Most time people feel that it's hard to make money, or they have to work hard for money to flow to them. If you can think of an experience or a time in your life where money just flowed to you, even if it was like you won something or you put out little effort and got a huge return, if you can find those experiences in your life, that is proof that it's not hard to make money, that it's easy for money to flow to you. So when you're questioning the blocks, one easy way to question whether it's really true is to see if you have any experiences in your life that are the opposite of the block. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Yes, perfect, thanks. Okay, so I'll give you 30 more seconds. Okay, so hopefully you've questioned the block. So now we're going to move to step 3. So step 3 is to reframe your block and create a money mantra. So I'm going to walk through this. Remember, we just questioned the block and we got to the end and we said, well, yeah, we do need money to obtain all the things that make us happy. So this is where you want to reframe the block and create a money mantra. So instead of a block that says money can't buy happiness, we're going to create a money mantra that says money supports my happiness. And already, how much lighter does that feel? Money supports my happiness. You already feel more connected to money. You don't feel like you're fighting against money. You feel like you and money are in this together. And so this is the power of reframing your block, because it takes a false truth and it makes it a new truth for you to then live in. Now, I'm going to give you time to create your mantras, but before that, I want to walk you through these 3 things that you have to make sure your mantras include. Because here's the thing, remember we talked about your conscious versus your unconscious relationship with money? Your money blocks are in your subconscious. So to reprogram your subconscious, you have to talk to your subconscious in a way that your subconscious understands, not a way that you consciously understand, okay? So when you're creating your mantras, these are the 3 things you have to make sure your mantras have. 1, they have to be in the present tense. So you can't say one day or I will be wealthy, or one day I will be wealthy. When you do that, you're going to be 90 years old and your subconscious is going to be forever looking for one day, okay? Your subconscious actually allows or better interprets things when they're said in the present and in the command. So I am wealthy. You have to speak it in the present tense. And I know it may not feel that way. Don't worry, we're going to get to that. But you have to talk to your subconscious in a way that it understands. So you has to be in the present tense. I am, I have, or I. And then no negative. So your subconscious actually cannot interpret or understand a negative. So if you constantly say, I don't want debt, I don't want debt, your subconscious hears, I want debt. And so what's happening is you're saying that, but you're attracting more debt to you because that's what your subconscious is hearing. You also want to make sure your mantras are in the positive tense. So for instance, you wouldn't say something like, I live free of doubt. Instead, you would say, I live in complete expectation. Okay, so I want to give you a minute to write your mantra. So take your block and reframe it and create a mantra that meets these 3 criteria. And once you've got your mantra, let me know what it is in the chat. And as you write it, I'll just share something else. When you say, actually, I'll hold it. I won't confuse you guys yet. I'll hold that to the next part. So take a minute and write your mantra and then let me know what your mantra is in the chat. So give maybe 30 more seconds. And then if you have your mantra, just throw it in the chat and I'm going to show you how to use your mantra. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So whenever you have your mantra, just throw it in the chat and I'll see it when it comes through. So I want to show you an easy way to start using your mantras. So first things first, you want to say them every morning and every night. Remember what I said, your subconscious accepts new ideas through faith or belief and repetition. So by saying them every morning and night, you're actually repeating them and getting them more downloaded into your subconscious. If you can record your mantras and listen to them while you sleep, that's also an easy way to get them into your subconscious, because when you sleep, you actually go into the subconscious states. So we actually go into our subconscious every day. We just don't connect to it sometimes. So when you're sleeping, you're going into alpha, theta, and delta states, and those are your subconscious states. So as you're sleeping, if you listen to the mantras, although you can't hear it consciously, your subconscious is hearing everything. The other thing, when you read your mantras, remember I said you're talking to your subconscious. So you want to talk to your subconscious in a way that it understands. One easy way is to talk to the subconscious using a command tonality. So let's say, for instance, your mantra is, I am wealthy. You won't say it like this. I am wealthy? You see how it goes up and it sounds like a question? I am wealthy? Are you asking or are you telling me? Your subconscious doesn't understand that. You have to talk to your subconscious in a command tonality. So you would say, I am wealthy. So your tonality will go down at the end. I am wealthy. That allows your subconscious to interpret it very fast, okay? So also watch your tonality. Number 2 is you want to now make decisions out of your money mantras. Remember, we talked about the cognitive cycle. Your thoughts create your feelings, which create your actions. If right now you're operating out of your money blocks, you don't want to do that. You don't ever want to make money decisions, take actions out of money blocks. You always want to shift your mind. So call on your mantras, shift and call on them until you have to, until your feelings change, until you start to feel your mantras and they actually just take over your whole body. When that happens, your feelings will shift and you'll act completely differently. So you won't go buy those pair of shoes. You'll actually maybe look at your finances. You'll act completely differently. So what you want to do is make sure you operate out of your mantras and no longer operate out of your blocks. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, but Vanessa, I can scream and say I'm wealthy, but I see my bank account and it does not show that. So if you're feeling resistance, that is completely okay. And if you say your mantras and you feel resistance, don't continue to say them. It's not going to do anything. So if you do feel resistance, here's a few mindset tricks that you can implement. So what you would do is begin your mantra with what if, or wouldn't it be nice if? So you could say something like, what if the universe is always flowing money to me? Wouldn't it be nice if I had all the money I desire to live my dreams? If you use these 2 phrases in front of your mantra, it shifts. So it actually makes your mantra feel more fun and imaginative. And it allows your subconscious to accept it more easily, because one of your subconscious states is the theta state, and that's the imaginative state. So by saying that, you almost go into this imaginary world where you're thinking about your mantra and your subconscious loves it and it accepts it more easily. And so as you find your mind kind of daydreaming about your mantra, you're going to feel your whole energy shift. And when your energy shifts, you're more open, you're more receptive to receive money, to receive abundance. So using these tricks will basically release a lot of the mental resistance that your blocks may have when you start to say them. Okay? So I hope we've learned at least one thing, and that there's more to money than just the numbers, okay? Our relationship with money, our mindset around money is so powerful. You want to create a new financial life, it has to start with your mindset. It has to start with the internal, because the internal projects what you're seeing externally. And if you haven't, just constantly do this, okay? Like, these are just easy steps for you to start to uncover your beliefs, but you just want to let go. Like, let go of the old beliefs, the behaviors, whatever's not serving you, let it go and create new beliefs that actually align to the vision for your life. So that's it, ladies. This is my contact info in case you want more information. I've got the quiz on there in case you didn't catch that link. Then there's my website, mintworthy.co. You can go in there to find more information about my coaching programs. And if you go to the one-on-one coaching program page, you could actually book a call with me directly and talk more about my coaching. So if you want to do that, that's an easy way to contact me. Or you can email me at hello@mintworthy.co. And of course, connect with me on Instagram, because that's where I am most of the time. All right, before I wrap up, this is how I end all of my sessions. So I just want you to close your eyes right now. And I just want you to connect within, okay? And I just want you to shed so much love to you, because you showed up here tonight for you. There's so many other things you could have done. You didn't have to put you first, but you did. And for that, your soul is so thankful. So just give yourself love. And I want you to repeat this. We're going to repeat this 3 times. I want you to repeat after me, and I want you to say this, and I want you to feel it. Okay? So here we go. I am worthy. Say it and feel it. One more time. I am worthy. And last time, I am worthy. And you are worthy of all the financial dreams in your heart. That's it. Thank you, ladies.
That's so awesome. Vanessa, honestly, every time Vanessa's come to do presentations within TLC multiple times, and every time you come, I get something more and I see something different, and I love the way you present your information. So I hope you ladies see, oh, they're coming in the chat. They love it.
Awesome.
It's amazing. And yeah, I just really appreciate you being here and adding to the discussion about money and helping us as women become more wealthy, own our money stories, and really move through those blocks so that we stop living in our limiting beliefs and we actually can make our dream life a reality. And you're making so much difference to people's lives one-on-one. And you also have group coaching too, right?
Yes, I do. Group and one-on-one. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So check that out if you want to get involved in her group or work with her one-on-one. Take her up on that call and see if it's a fit for you. And I'm going to put all her information, however you're watching this right now. If you're watching the replay, I'll put the information in the links. So make sure to reach out. And thanks so much, Vanessa, for taking the time to be here. And also, I want to acknowledge you for all of the work that you've put in to learn everything that you're now sharing with women, because women wouldn't be able to learn if you didn't put all that work into yourself. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. So appreciative for you. So thank you. Thank you. I can't stop thanking you enough.
So awesome. Well, I'm excited to continue working together. Have a wonderful evening if you're watching in the evening. If not, have a great day, ladies. And we will chat with you soon. Thanks for taking time out of your night to spend it with us. Bye.
Bye.